the reason why we publish this is just to show teams like this is normal, don't give up, right? And so it's really easy for teams to see the beginning of the J curve, expect it to go to infinity, right? And then it doesn't, it drops off and goes flat. And they say, oh, this clearly isn't working. And they abandon SRE entirely, or they abandon whatever the capability is that they're trying, right? They just say, this clearly isn't working because it's not giving more benefits over time. Hey, I'm Steve McGhee. I'm a reliability advocate at Google Cloud. I was an SRE for a long time, and now I help people build more reliable systems on the cloud.
Hi, I'm Kyle Campbell, founder of CTO.ai. We are a modern development platform that helps companies measure the software developer experience. Been an entrepreneur and a self-taught software engineer for a long time, and love to help developers build internal developer platforms. Steve, can you walk us through what the J curve is?
Sure. So this is, it's like the outcome of what we saw in the statistical analysis when we asked people about reliability adoption in their company. Sometimes it's referred to as a bathtub curve. They're similar curves and they're kind of related. But basically it's the idea that when you first start out, it kind of goes up and then it drops back down again. In a J curve, it just drops down a little bit, but in a bathtub curve, it drops all the way back down. And the idea is that when you first adopt a new capability, in this case, reliability, like you get immediate benefits right away. And then after a while, after that first benefit, it drops back down where you're actually receiving potentially negative benefit, or you're certainly not getting the improved benefits that you had at the beginning, because now you have to start kind of like shoving the whole system together, right? You're applying the existing or the new things that you just learned to the entire system. And then basically there's this big flat trough, right? Where like nothing good happens for a while and it's a total bummer. But at the end, this is where the J comes in, is it goes up like this. And so you get these huge reliability benefits way later than you had hoped. So ideally, like you would get this straight line where like, as you adopt new things, it just gets better and better and it's perfect and it's great. And so let's just buy more stuff, right? Let's just get more capabilities. But it turns out that reliability tends to follow this J curve model, which is we get a bunch of wins at the front, we get really excited, and then, oh no, we're in the trough of disillusionment, right? And so the reason why we publish this is just to show teams like this is normal, don't give up, right? And so it's really easy for teams to see the beginning of the J curve, expect it to go to infinity, right? And then it doesn't, it drops off and goes flat. And they say, oh, this clearly isn't working. And they abandon SRE entirely, or they abandon whatever the capability is that they're trying. Right? They just say this clearly isn't working because it's not giving more benefits over time. And they're missing out on the whole point, which was that big curve at the end, right? The big steep part on the right side of the J curve graph. And so we'd always thought this was probably happening, but we couldn't really express it until last year or the year before when we started asking this particular form of questions and we started plotting it in this certain way. So last year we saw like a little bit of a J curve. It was pretty flat. It wasn't super clear. This year we saw a much more pronounced J curve just because we asked better questions basically. So we're pretty confident that it is in fact true. So as you adopt more of these capabilities within a realm, specifically in reliability, we hope that you will continue through the trough and keep trying, because it will pay off at near the right side of that curve.
Well, I can tell you from my experience as an entrepreneur who's been building software for a long time, the trough of disillusionment and crossing the chasm is absolutely real. And given the fact that you're measuring cohorts of capabilities that are evolving, as we talked about earlier, in an industry that's evolving, it makes absolute sense to me that J curve wouldn't be immediately present and apparent in any one year, but you'd have to track it over multiple years.
Yeah.
And if I just zoom out and I ask and look at that, against the startup journey that we often experience as founders, or even in other areas that I've experienced, it absolutely sounds true to me. So it's really a question of over time, how do you measure it?
If you want to learn more about DORA, check out dora.dev, and you can join our community as well. There's a URL, dora.community, which is an actual URL. You can type it into your browser, and where we meet up a couple times a month to talk about DORA and how they're adopted within communities and organizations. And then keep a lookout for Ask Dora. I call it Dora Bot, but we have an LLM that's trained on all of the Dora material for the past 10 years, and you can ask it any question you'd like to better understand all the material within the Dora reports over the years. And don't forget to check out the Accelerate book as well. It's 10 years old and it still rings true.
If you're looking to advance your CI/CD practices and get DORA metrics automatically through that tool, check out CTO.ai. We will help you set up your CI/CD process to automatically collect and search and report on the DORA metrics that come out of your CI/CD practices. And then you can use those and compare them with the word of your team to understand how to continuously improve over time. I want to say a big thank you to Steve from DORA for joining us, and we'll see you soon.